All right, hello students, I welcome you again in this PM class. Now we are going to discuss this question from your actual past paper, September, December 2023. You can see on the left side of your computer screen, it's September, December 2023, and it is the real past paper. And this is ACCA Practice Platform. And the question is from the section of decision making. Decision making is also very important section as far as the CRQs are concerned. So hereby we are solving this question. The name of the question is Desi Company, and it is for 7 marks. Number 1, advise Desi Company production manager on whether either of the joint products should be further processed and calculate the optimal production plan for period 3. That means either month 1, month 2, month 3, that is the time period number 3, right? Time period number 3. So we have to solve it for this period number 3, right? Now let's move on. Whether either of the joint products should be further processed, further processing decision. If I can give you a very quick and a short recap, that is, see that it is process number 1, process number 2, and here you got finished output, here you got finished goods, right? Now let us say, for example, the name of the product is product A. The name of the product is product A, right? And this is the split off point. Now my question is that this production has been done, the finish out of goods have been received. Now my question is whether it should be sold as A or should it be processed and further processing afterwards it will be called A plus. So whether to sell the product at split off point or process further. So this is my product A. I am just comparing whether I should sell this product at a split off point or should I further process it, right? But make sure, okay, I will be opening this slide once again after reading of the question. But before that, just imagine that there is a product, right? And this point is called where product A is separated, product B is separated. So let me draw it in a more fair manner. This is P1, process 1, process 2, and let's say process 3. So here it is my product A and it is my product B. These are the products. These are the products, right? Now let's say there are 2 products, joint and byproducts and other byproducts. These are 2 joint products, right? So there is a point you might have studied in your earlier studies that this is called the point as a split off point. Which point is this? It is the split off point, that is called the point of separation, in which 2 products are being separated. Now this product A, I am here, it is the normal decision. Now whenever you are going to take the special decision, you have to take the decision more than your existing operation. So this is your existing operation, and split off point, there is a cost at split off point, cost at this point, which is called joint cost, which is called what? Joint cost, or you can say the common cost. Joint cost, or which is called common cost, right? So this is the cost, cost to separate the products, right? And my decision has not started from here. My decision will be started from here. My decision making will be start from here. Here I will be taking my decision, right? So that decision making point is that either we should sell product A or make it A plus. So that is why this cost is not relevant. This cost is not relevant, right? This cost is not relevant. This cost is not relevant, right? So what is the bottom line point? The bottom line point is that either we should sell the product at split off or process it further. So how do we take the financial analysis? Now you have to take the sales at split off point. You have to take the sales at split of point, and then you have to take the sales after further processing. After further processing, so what you will be receiving, see that for example there is a product and it is sold at $10, and after further processing it will be sold at 14. So you will be having 4 additional revenue. So that is called incremental sales. That is called what? Incremental sales. And you have to less, that is incremental cost. Incremental cost. So resulting would be either benefit or loss from further processing. So further processing will give you further revenue, but further revenue will also cost further to process it further, right? So you have to take some additional stuff. Now this is the scenario you might have studied, or definitely you have already studied. So that is why you are able to solve this full-fledged question. So number 2, based on the optimal production plan given for period 4, prepare a profit statement. Now it is being asked for period number 4. There are different time period, right? Prepare a profit statement showing each product profit for period number 4. Okay, so it would be this is period number 4 and it is related to part 2. But here it is related to period number 3, for which we have to solve it for 7 marks. Again, I'm reading the requirement. Advise Desi company's production manager whether either of the joint products should be further processed and calculate the optimal production plan for period number 3. Now the question is in left side of your computer screen, and I want you people, those who are watching the lectures, pause this video right now and read this information right away till here at least, so that we will be able to discuss this question. My advice, pause this video and read this entire scenario right now. Alright students, I am now well assuming that you people have read this scenario. Now see that Desi company is a large chemical company. One of its chemical process produces 2 joint products. They are producing 2 joint products, nettle and monkey. This is the name of the product. These are the name of the products. Each of these joint products can be sold at the end of the joint process, which is called the separation point. I mean this point, this separation point, right? This is the separation point. Split of point, the point of separation, or can be further processed into enhanced version of the products called nettle plus and monkey plus. So these are the name of the products, nettle and monkey, but when it will be further processed it will become nettle plus or the monkey plus. The budgeted information related. Okay, so joint products, total output of joint process liters 500. Please mark this number of units. Output are 300 and 200. 300 and to this 300 of nettle and 200 of monkey. The total collectively it is 500, right? So that's a very simple point. Now the simple point is that this is joint process cost, direct material overhead 8310, joint process cost. This is this cost, joint process cost. It is not relevant because this product have to be separated. These products have to be separated regardless whether you are processing it further or not, but these have to be separated, right? So this is not our decision. Our decision is whether to process further or sell it split off. So that means this cost is totally irrelevant. Apportioned joint costs. Apportioned joint cost, this is the, okay, the cost which this cost 8310, it has been apportioned between monkey and nettle. 3324 plus 4986. Yes, it is 8310. I'm using this calculator as well. Okay, so these are apportioned. So this cost is totally irrelevant. Now selling price at split off, selling price after further processing, selling price at split off and selling price after further processing per liter. Please note that this amount is per liter, and further processing cost. and here it is normal loss in further processing. Here it is 0 and here it is 10%. So we will have to consider the loss as well. But first of all, I'm just writing it over here. That is it is my part A, part 1. Part A, part 1, right? Now here we have to solve it for nettle and for monkey. Nettle and monkey, right? Nettle and monkey. So here it is dollars because we have to solve in dollars, right? And so first of all, we have to calculate the sales at split of point. So sales at split of point. Sales at split of point. Price is equal to, what is the sales at split of point for nettle? This is 20 and 300,000 units. So this is 20 multiplied by 300,000. So we got this revenue of nettle, that is 600,000, 6 million. This is my sale revenue at split of point, the sales value at split of point, right? Now sales after processing further. Sales after processing further, right? Now what is the sale after processing further? Price is equal to, it is $25. As you can see, it's sales after further processing. 25 multiplied by 300,000, and it is 7500000. So what is this? It is called incremental revenue. So what is my incremental revenue? Press this cell minus the above cell, you got this incremental revenue, right? This is the incremental revenue. I should bold it. So what is this amount? 1500,000 is the additional revenue which I will be obtaining, which I will be achieving if I will be processing it further. That's a very simple point. Further processing cost per liter, that is $8. Further processing cost, that is $8. So here I have to less further processing cost. Further processing cost. So what is the amount? Price is equal to 8 multiplied by 300,000. It is 2400, and I'm doing it italic with the red color so that it is identifiable, right? And now further processing cost is deducted and there is no other information. So that is a very, very simple point. And now it will be either benefit or loss, right? Benefit or loss. So here press the above cell minus this cell, so it is 900,000 in negative. So that means it should not be further processed. It should be sell at split of point, right? It should be sell at split of point. Now this is a very simple calculation for nettle, but for monkey there is a twist in the scenario. As you can see on the, please look at the left side of your computer screen. It is saying that normal loss, here it is 0 and here it is 10%. 10% normal loss in further processing. Please see this left side, this note number 2. Normal losses occur at the end of further processing. Now what does it mean? Normal losses occur at the end of further processing, Now what you are supposed to do? First of all, keep the thing simple and natural. Now selling price of normal loss. Now the losses which are normal loss, it can be sold at 1.5. So that means it will be adding as an revenue from the normal loss. So how to solve it? Let's discuss it first. Sales at split off, the monkey. Sales at split off. This is the amount, $18 and 29 after further processing. So 18 multiplied by 200,000. So it is 3600,000, right? Now sales after further processing, please note that in monkey there is a loss of 10% after further processing. Now imagine that this is 29. See that it is equal to 29. 29, it will not be multiplied by 200,000. No, it would be wrong. Why it would be wrong? Because after further processing, this would not be 100% as it is. There is a loss. There is a loss of 10%. So I have to multiply it with 0.9, that is 90%. So here I am writing for us, that is 10% loss, right? So for our referral purpose, I have written this thing. Now, what is the additional revenue? Press this cell minus this cell. So we got 1620,000. This again, I'm showing this cell for your reference. 29 multiplied by 200,000 multiplied by 90%. Why? Because there is a standard loss and the losses will occur at the end. So naturally, if I will be selling at a split off, there will be total 200,000. But if I will be processing it further, so there will be 10% loss. Right? Okay. But I have to add here one, I have to add here one column. Now which one column? This would be the income, you can call it revenue from the normal loss. So this is not the incremental revenue. This is not the incremental revenue for this monkey. Why? Because in monkey, if there will be standard loss, it can be sold at 1.5 and the losses are 10% of the production, right? 10% of the production. So what I'm doing, I'm taking this cell over here, leaving this space as a blank, and I am adding it with, I have to, sorry, just wait. Here. Now I am writing with another color, with blue color, let's say. I am writing here revenue from normal loss. Here it is 0. Naturally there is no. And here it is, price is equal to 1.5 multiplied by 200,000 multiplied by 0.1, because there is a 10% loss which can be sold. So this would become 30,000. You can see with this blue color, this would become 30,000, right? So that is 10% loss units. Here I should write after 10% loss, right? 10% loss units. So now we can say this would be my incremental revenue. This plus this is equal to obviously 1500,000. I should bold this, and this would be this amount plus this amount. So this is the incremental revenue finally after, because revenue from normal loss is not in the case of nettle, it is only in the case of monkey, right? And less further processing cost. Now there is a twist, there is a further processing cost, you can say, is 4. Now point to be noted is that if this 4 would be multiplied by 200 or multiplied by 200 with 10%. This is a twist. In this particular question, this is a twist. Please note and note this point on in your notebooks. Now what is this saying? Let me clarify you. Normal losses occur at the end of the further processing. Losses are occurred at the end. At the end. So how shall I explain it in a very simple way? Let's say for example, there are 200 units and further process costs, let's say for example it's $4 per unit, taking this as an example, right? 200 units, let's say. So if it is case number 1 and case number 2, the losses calculation would differ. So if I'm writing if 10% loss at the start, if 10% loss at the start of further processing, at the start of further processing. So what it would be the cost? That means 200. Now you can imagine that there is a production process. This is the production process. I have placed 200 units and losses at the start. Losses at the start. So here it would become 90%, and then you have to multiply with $4, because the losses at the start and further processing will be 90%. Further processing will be 90%, right? So it would be 200 multiplied by 90 multiplied by 4. So it would become 720 here. But here in this particular question, if losses during or after end of further processing. Now, what does it mean? That means losses are here 200 and this is at the end. So that means the further processing will be utilizing all the 200 units. So now the further processing cost would be 200 multiplied by $4, straight 800. So you have to click, you have to check it out, click in your mind what is the thing, either loss at the start or loss during or after end of the production process. So in this particular question you can see losses is at the end of the further process, and I had already highlighted this point, losses at the end of further processing. So it would not be $1 or 90%, no, it would be straight 4 multiplied by 200,000, that is 800,000. So now this amount minus this amount, it is 850 benefit. So this would be the benefit and this would be the loss. So I should write it over here. Further process, it's my question mark. The answer is no, a big no and a big yes. So this would be my answer. I don't think so. It contains some complex calculation. It's very simple. Yes, but from the student point of view, it quite may be possible that you people might have stuck at this point and at this point as well regarding the cost, because the loss is at the end of the process. I'm writing it over here. Loss at the end of the process. Loss at the end of the process. Right? So this is the thing. So now this is very much clear, but still we have not received, we have not gained fully 7 marks. Why? And calculate the optimal production plan. Optimal production plan. So it should not be further processed. If I can analyze nettle, yes, monkey should be further processed because it is giving you the benefit. So let's highlight it with the, sorry, remain it with blue color, right? So now what is the production plan? Nettle should not be further processed. Nettle should be produced 300 units. Yes, if you will be producing monkey 200,000 units, and if you will be processing it further, you will be having additional benefit of this amount 850,000. So that means monkey should be further processed. And now when monkey will be further processed, it will be after 10% loss. So that means monkey plus will be after 10% loss, right? So monkey plus will be after 10% loss. So this is my production plan. So since Nettle is giving the loss on processing further and monkey is giving the benefit after processing further. So monkey should be processed further as monkey plus, right? There's a monkey plus. So my optimal production plan, optimal production plan. So what is the optimal production plan? That is metal 300,000 liters and monkey plus, that is equal to just a minute, liters. It is 300,000 and it is 200,000 multiplied by 0.9, that is 180. So that is my optimal production plan. Simple point is that. Why 180 plus? Sorry, 180,000, because it will be after the loss of 10%. I have shown it with the calculation here. Okay, sorry. This is I'm sorry. This was miscalculation over here. It is 1500 minus this amount. This is 900,000. Sorry, it was a mistake. But still, it's in loss. Student, just please correct this value. Correct this value, please. So this is my optimal production plan, right? All right, students. Now I'm moving towards the next part. Based on the optimal production plan given for period 4, prepare a profit statement showing each product profit for the period 4. You just have to prepare the profit statement, right? So here it was my part A, part 1, monkey and nettle and monkey. We have solved this thing. Now let's move on to the part 2, and here it is for the period number 4. In period number 4, it has been decided that 280,000 liter of nettle and 220,000 liters of monkey plus will be produced. The apportioned joint cost for the period 4, the apportioned joint cost for the period 4 are 4,500 for nettle and this for monkey plus. The selling prices, further processing costs and normal loss details are the same as in period 3. So this is a very important line to be highlighted because we have to select the figures to calculate the financial analysis from the above table. Information on the cost and selling price is collected. Okay, it's a different story. It is related to another thing. So I just want you people to read this paragraph once again. Read this paragraph once again. Pause this video and read this paragraph once again. All right, students, I am assuming that you people have read this thing. Okay, so what is the scenario? 280,000 liters of nettle and 220,000 liters of monkey plus. Monkey plus, right? It's monkey plus. And the financial figures are the same as above. So it has been decided already. They have taken the decision and we are here to just produce the income statement. So I am spreading this. It is called the spreadsheet. I am spreading this in the vertically. So this is my number 2 and so-called profit statement, right? Now here I am working for nettle and for here for monkey plus. monkey plus, right? So now let us see about, okay, 280,000 liters of nettle will be produced, and naturally 280,000 of nettle will be produced and 280,000 will be sold. So what is the sales? What is the sales? It would be 280,000 multiply by, what is the selling price of nettle? That is 20. 20 is the selling price, right? So you have to multiply with the 20. It is this amount. Now we have to prepare the final income statement. Less. Now what is the less? We have to less costs. We have to less the costs, right? So what cost is this? First of all, there will be a cost of this apportionment. Now it has been decided. When it was decided, so the joint cost is not relevant for the decision making. But when you will be taking the decision, you will have to prepare the final income statement on that. So I'm first writing apportioned joint costs. So what is the portion joint cost here? It is 4,500,000. It is mentioned it over here 4,500, and here it is 3,300. Okay, I have to write for monkey plus as well. But the bottom line point is that for monkey plus will be produced 220, but there is a loss. It will be sold. It will be sold 90%. It will be sold 90%. Monkey plus. So is equal to, monkey plus is equal to, here what shall I write? For the monkey plus I am writing that my production will be 220, but I have to sold is equal to this cell multiplied by 0.9 because there is a loss. So this is 198,000, right? So this is the only for the monkey plus, but for nettle is only the nettle. So what is the sales? The sale would be is equal to this units multiplied by monkey plus. We have to pick up the selling price of monkey plus, that is 29, and that is 29. So this is my sale revenue of monkey plus. And what is the apportioned joint cost? It is mentioned over here 3,300. 3,300. Okay. So there will be further processing. Further processing cost. Here there is zero cost and there will be further processing. Now again, there is a loss at the end. There is a loss at the end. So further processing cost will be applied on the overall 220,000 units. So what is the further processing cost? It was $4, and the loss is at the end. So the same principle will be applied. $4 multiply by on the production units. Multiply by on the production units, right? This is 880. The production is 220,000. So this is my further processing cost. Remember one point, this 20,000 is not 90%. Please see that it has been decided that 280,000 of nettle and 220,000 liters of monkey plus will be produced. That means in the further processing, we have to insert 220,000 units, and after further processing, it will be 90%. Now, this would be the thing. And one more important point, if you can highlight it from here, revenue from the normal loss. So I am further writing it over here. Revenue from normal loss. So what is the revenue from normal loss? Here it is 0. And here it will be 1.5 multiply by 220,000 multiplied by 0.1. Why? Because the revenue is coming from the normal loss units. So here it is 33,000, right? So what you are supposed to do now, the final profit, there is nothing more in this question. Price is equal to sales minus only this cost, it's 1100, and here sales minus this cost and plus this revenue, you'll get this 1595. So this is my profit statement in period number 4. Okay, so congratulations for this 4 marks as well. Okay, so we had done this part. Now we have to go for part B. It would be in the next slide. It's my part B. Now the question is asking for the explanation. Explain why, the reason why. It is for 3 marks, right? Explain the reason why joint processing costs are considered irrelevant. Basically the question is asking about this thing which we have already discussed. It is my split of point, and this is called the joint cost, right? This is called the joint cost. Why the processing costs are joint processing costs are considered irrelevant. See, it is irrelevant whether you further process or not, this cost will have to be incurred. You know the principle of relevant costing, it is the future cost, it is the cash flow, it is the incremental cost. What is the bottom line principle of relevant costing? Okay, the relevant costing principle is all the costs are relevant costs. All the costs are relevant costs. When it is future cost, it should be cash flow, and it should be incremental cost. Incremental means future, that means something related to the future, not might have happened in the past. It should be cash flows, and it should be incremental. Incremental means every cost above the existing level. So we have to discuss these principles. Now, again, explain why joint processing costs are considered irrelevant when making the further processing decision, but are considered relevant when assessing the profitability of the overall process. Now see that if I go back, this is my net profit after the decision, that after taking the decision I am assessing the profitability, but before making a decision this cost would have to be incurred. So in the decision making this cost will not help you out, but at the end of the period when you are calculating the net profit at the end of the month or a quarter or say after a year, so you have to measure the profitability as well, so that cost would be considered as relevant, right? So this is a very simple point which we have already discussed it over here. So this is my part B. This is my part B. So what is basically the explanation? The cost is considered as relevant for the spatial decision making when it is the cost will be incurred in the future, comma, should be cash flow and should be incremental cost, means cost above the normal cost above the existing level of production. The joint processing cost will have to be incurred whether or not you further process, whether or not to further process, because this is a cost to separate the joint products will have to be incurred regardless of whether the products would be processed further or not, since it is the cost, joint cost, which is incurred to separate the joint products, and for the purpose of our decision it is considered as a sunk past cost, and for the purpose of further processing decision it is the sunk, I mean past cost, and so not relevant. This is my first part, but are considered as relevant when assessing the overall profitability. Now, if we come for assessment of the overall profitability, this cost would be, it is a viable cost that you are measuring what is the end result, right? What is the end result? Hmm. Okay. So, as far as profitability is concerned, so it is the net profit after the end of the time period, and so company should know the net profit, and thus this cost would be relevant. This cost, I mean the joint cost, joint cost would be relevant, right? To assess whether the overall process, whether the overall process generates the profit and how much the profit is. Simple point. And I believe so for 3 marks, we have written enough more than the requirement. But actually, my point of view is that this is the explanation. So explanation should not be too much lengthy, should not be too much, the shrinked answer. It should be meaningful. Your answer should be meaningful. Meaningful means that you have to express your answer that is which convince the examiner and it is giving the exact meaning. So if you will, if anybody is reading this thing, he will be able to understand that if that is what is exactly the scenario. So that either way you can shrink your answer, but the answer should be meaningful. So students, pause this video and read this and copy this. Okay, I'm assuming that you people have copied this thing. Now let's move on for the next part. What is exactly the next part? It's for 6 marks, and the discussion is on ERPS, Enterprise Resource Planning System. Discuss the benefits of Desi company of investing in an ERPS, Enterprise Resource Planning System. So first of all, we should go to the manual writing pad. What is actually ERPS? It is the Enterprise Resource Planning System. Enterprise Resource Planning System. Let me give you the example. First of all, let's look at this word resource. This is resource. Resource could be anything. Resource could be money. Resource could be time. Resource could be material. Resource could be human resource. Resource could be vehicle. Resource could be machineries. Resource could be piece of land. Anything which has been used by the company, which is in use by the company for the generation of the benefit, the outcome, that's called the resource. For example, I'm conducting this lecture, I'm conducting this class. So this stylus, pen, this my laptop, my internet, my camera, my mic, all these are resources for me to execute this task. So resources are everything which you use to produce the output. Now, please focus on the word system. System means there is a computerized system, the IT system, and it is a planning. Enterprise is the word used for the company. Enterprise is the word used for the company, right? Planning system. Now there should be a system. Now what is exactly the enterprise resource planning system? You can call it in a simple language. It's a single software. It's a single software. And this single software, ERPS, in which different functions are integrated. Single software and different functions are integrated. Different functions are what are integrated. Let's say, for example, what are the different functions? Like you can call it sales, you can call it manufacturing, you can call it store. Let me give you the example. I am the salesman, I have computer, and the customer is please observe me. Customer has customer is in my office. He is asking me, Sir Haris, do you have this product, for example? Now I am the salesperson. I am the salesperson. I'm sitting in the head office, and the store, the warehouse is in the site area, in the remote area. So shall I ask to the customer, please wait, I'm going to drive my car and going to the store and checking whether there is a store in the units available or not? Absolutely not. I should have a computer system. Let's say, for example, customers came, sir, do you have this product? Okay, please have a seat and let me check it on the computer. I'm checking on the software so that I am the salesperson. I have access to the store department. So that means what? That means what? This salesperson can execute his task and he can monitor the resource, which is the inventory right now. Let's say I'm a travel agent. A passenger traveler is coming to me, is my customer. He's asking me, sir, do you have air tickets for from X location to Y location, for example from Dubai to London? So shall I go to the airport and see whether there is any inventory, I mean the seat, the airplane? No. So my system has been connected with the airline, with the airline company, and I have got the access to view, to watch the report of the finished goods. Okay, yes sir, the seat is available. Shall I book it now? Press enter. You know, enterprise resource planning system. resource planning system. So when, let's say for example, I have booked the seat number 36 for the passenger, let's say for example. So if there is an other travel agent, that seat will be booked in his system as well, and so that he can plan, now I have to sell seat number 37 and 38. So that's called the planning. This is a single software in which different systems, sales, manufacturing, store, purchasing, production, finance, marketing, all the systems are being integrated together, and as per the need, and as per the need, as per the need, as per the need of the concern particular, as per the need of the concern particular person, the concern access is given, the concern related access is given to that particular manager, so that he or she can plan out the resource for the future, plan the resource for the future, right? So the single software in which different functions are being integrated, so that single software can serve the needs of all the functional areas, and obviously there should not be too much access provided to each and every one. So there is one thing which is called logical access system, logical access system, in which there is user ID and there is password. For example, I am the salesperson, I should have access towards the inventory system, but not fully access. I should only have the access the real time inventory position. I cannot change, I cannot amend, I cannot change, I cannot amend the minimum level, the maximum level of the inventory. No, I am just in the entire inventory system. I have some limited access according to the logic. According to the logic, I have access, and there is a system, so that I can just watch in my ERPS with my user ID, Haris Hanif, and the password, the real time right now, at what time it is. Let's say, for example, it's 10:20. So at this time period, what is the inventory right now? So I have only this limited access up to the logical sense. So so first of all, when you are supposed to write anything, so you first need to write about the definition first. So what is this? ERPS, I mean Enterprise Resource Planning System. Enterprise Resource Planning System, that is ERPS. Enterprise Resource Planning System is the modular software package which is designed to serve the needs of multiple functions. In ERPS, different functions are integrated. Different functions of enterprise are integrated, like sales, store, purchasing, marketing, etc. So that, and according to the need of the user, access is given to each function. Like sales department can watch, sales department can access towards the real-time available inventory to answer the availability of inventory to the customer. For example, now it is my meaningful answer, right? And now one more important point, this integration is achieved by setting up database which can be shared by all of the application programs. It means there is database which is being shared by all the application programs, right? So what I had written, I see that there are 6 marks, and discuss the benefits of investing. So definitely we must have to write about some benefits, and first of all we should explain what actually ERPS is. Now discuss the benefits for Desi company. Now we have to read this first, the last. Information on cost and selling price is collected by different departments within Desi company and is recorded on individual departmental spreadsheet and system. This information is often not shared with other departments. Please see that this information is not shared often with other departments, so that production manager rarely has access to up-to-date information. So that means if you are not having the information about the class, you are not having the information about the LMS on your portal, how can you access the lectures? How can you take the live sessions, for example? So the information is very much necessary. So see that we have to first find out the problem in this particular case study, and we have to relate the benefit, the general benefit of ERPS with this particular case study, right? Good to go. So production manager rarely has the access up to date information. She has heard of ERPS and wonders if one could be the used to the Desi company, right? So what exactly the benefit of ERPS? ERPS, the benefit is simple. That is, you can share the information. If I can use very simple and general benefits, that is sharing of information. Sharing of what information? Quick, or I should use the word timely decision making. Timely decision making of the concerned thing. So I have to apply it with the production manager, right? Timely decision making, sharing of the information, availability of resources, and it's the plan for the future. Plan for the future, right? It will generate, ERPS can generate the reports as well. Enterprise resource planning system. Reports can be generated. Reports can be generated, and with the reports you can assess the performance. And when you will be assessing the performance, you will have to improvise it. Improvise for future. So these are some general benefits of ERPS, and I have to relate it with this case study. Okay, so let's now move on to the this thing. The information is not shared with other departments, so the production manager rarely has access up to date information. A production manager is not having the information, right? What kind of information? Let's say, imagine yourself as a production manager. I should have the information of the raw material. I should have the information of the availability of the labor. I should have the information of the machines, but I am not aware of any information because of this system flaw, because there is no system at all. So introducing ERPS in the Desi company would be beneficial discuss the benefits, right? Would be beneficial, as currently the system is manual. The system seems to be manual. Manual recording on the spreadsheet in the individual departments, right? So introducing it could be beneficial. So ERPS allows the different functions to share the information, that is shared database, and every function or say department can access the information related to other department, information of other department relating to the concerned work, information of other function related to the concerned work, like say production manager in the company has rarely has up to date information, like introducing ERPS allows him to access the information on the raw materials, that is availability in the store, its cost. Definitely production manager has to consider the cost benefit analysis as well, availability of workers, so that he can plan for the production for the upcoming time period. That's a very simple point. In a very simple and decent way, I have explained this related to this particular problem. Now further we have to write down the benefit. I have only written one benefit, right? Now using ERPS, he would be able to analyze and plan the resource and would be in a better position of decision making. Now see, only writing the word decision making will not reward you. All the way it is a decision making, but this question is containing of further processing. So it is much more better to add beauty in your answer. That is, he would be able to take the decision whether the product should be sold at split off or to process further, because the topic is further processing, right? And would be in a better position to decide, like whether to sell at split off, no, or that is whether to process joint product, whether any joint product should be processed further or not. If he's not having the information, he cannot take the decision, right? Now one more important point, the different reports can be produced. So when the reports can be generated of all the different departments, production department report, sale department report, marketing department report, store department report, so that they can analyze and assess the performance of each individual departments. It will be very simple and easy. So automating or doing the work with this digital dolls, like digital dolls, I mean the softwares, so you can automate your process, you can fast your process, you can add efficiency in your process. And this is the enterprise resource planning system. Okay, ERPS also, ERPS will also be beneficial in terms of generating the reports and comparing the performance of different functions in the enterprise. In the enterprise, right? Different functions in the enterprise. Different function in the enterprise and assessing the performance. Now, please relate this thing with the joint products. Relate this thing with the joint products, because the question is not the general, the question is related to the further processing. So I'm just writing that like that way. Let's say, for example, like say, for example, if there is the ERPS, there will be a report generation that where exactly the 10% loss in the case of Monkey Plus. Despite of the fact, if we process Nettle, there is no loss. So why there is a loss in the Monkey Plus, and why it is 10%? So that it can be analyzed, compared, and can be reduced. The losses can be reduced. When it will be reduced? When I have the information, sorry, when I have the accurate information, and it will be through this system, and I will be able to put the efforts to lower down the wastage. Okay, like say for example, assessing why there is loss in the further processing of Monkey Plus, despite of the fact there is no loss if Nettle is processed further. And introducing the system, that is ERPS, would enable Desi company to analyze the loss and putting efforts to reduce the loss. Yeah, we have written sufficient for 6 marks. You people should write more if you want to. Shall I give you one simple and general benefit? When you automate your task, so your repetitive functions would be eliminated. Your time is saved. So when your time is saved, you can focus more, on the more crucial areas. Like let's say for example, I am the salesperson. If my repetitive task has been reduced, minimized, I can utilize my that time in building the customer relation. Take my example. If I am the tutor, or what if I am the tutor? I am the tutor, and I have provided you the recorded lectures, and I have given you sufficient time, the plan, watch these lectures. Now I can utilize my time for the preparation of more and more complex question to be practiced in the live sessions. For example, I can utilize my time in building the mock paper. I can utilize my time in development of more advanced level kind of the examples. So see that instead of taking daily life classes, I have built up a system. I have provided you the stuff, and after a week there is a live session, let's say for example, and we can discuss more advanced level. So effective time utilization will be giving you more and more benefits, and it is only possible when you systemized your process, not the manual task. So ERPS also helps the will also help to minimize or you can say eliminate the repetitive task and saving the time due to manual exercise, and thus the department can focus more on the value added areas, like say sales team would eliminate the repetitive task so that it may focus more on building customer relationship and attracting more customers. And attracting what? More customers. It quite may be possible. And yeah, that's a more important. So they only ask for the benefits to be discussed for 6 marks. I believe so. I have written too much. But yes, it's okay, fine. It's okay, fine. It's a discussion. But consider the time as well. See, I am explaining whatever the points are relevant. I am writing it here. It has not been asked, but write just one paragraph that despite of the benefits, the company should also consider the cost benefit analysis. There will be a cost. So despite of the benefits, Desi company should also consider the cost to implement the ERPS so that cost would be justified against the benefits. It is just the caution point. I am not writing anything which is the disadvantage, because the question is only asked for the benefits, right? So this is my ERPS definition, and below that there are definite benefits, and we have written it. I am minimizing this screen so that if you people, I think it's too narrow, but if you people want to take the screenshot collectively, you can, and you can zoom it later on by yourself. So I'm counting till 5 if you want to take the snapshot. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You people can take this screenshot, and I'm doing it zoom. Up to the point where I had written, right? So this is the case study. And please, why I have related these benefits with the case study? Because the question has expressly written the name of the company, that is Desi company, and you have to relate the points. The benefits is not for the general, the benefit is for this company. So that is why you have to relate the benefits relating to the circumstances of this Desi company. Further processing. Remember the concerned topic examined in the question. So congratulations, we have completed this case study and solving this CRQ. I hope you people had understood this question. Now see you in the next lecture. Have a nice day. Take care. Bye bye.